Today's guest is a Connecticut native, someone who leads through action over talk, and an exemplar of sticking to it. Please welcome former UConn men's soccer walk-on and captain and current NYCFCii player, Jack Loura.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
thanks for weathering the traffic and the accent. So what, there was like a pileup or something? Or?
Yeah, a truck. I mean, the Merritt Parkway. You're not supposed to have a truck. The truck hit the bridge and like turned and just covered the whole thing.
That's what I've been scared of driving the van. It's because there's lots. It's 10 feet.
Yeah.
And there's like all these bridges that are like 10 foot 2 inches.
So it's
I don't want to hit a bump.
Yeah. By.
Well, thanks for coming anyway. I appreciate it. So, obviously, UConn walk on into captain, now playing professionally in MLS Next Pro. I want to start at the beginning. Can you talk to me about your childhood growing up? You grew up in Cheshire?
Yeah,
just
my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell me just a little bit high level about your childhood? Any formative moments that you're willing to share? That'd be great.
Yeah, grew up with two older sisters. We're all within 3 years, so we were all really close growing up. They both played soccer. My dad played soccer in high school, got us all into soccer, coaching us.
Nice.
Growing up, I played basketball and baseball as well, so kind of just enjoyed every sport. And yeah, I loved being outside as a kid. We'd go on hikes as a family. We would just hang out with neighbors, biking around the neighborhood, whatever we could do to pass time. But yeah, it was awesome living in Cheshire. Made a lot of really good friends, and then been living there my whole life. My parents still live there. Head back there as often as I can.
Sweet. So, when did you said your dad got you and your sisters involved? When was that?
I don't remember a time I didn't play soccer, to be honest.
Okay.
So probably like 3 or 4 years old, playing on a team. My dad always pushed me to play with older people. So probably like 6 years old, I was playing U8, just getting as much experience as I can. Playing in the backyard with my sisters. They were pretty successful throughout high school. They won a conference championship in high school, which I can never say that I won, unfortunately.
Also at Cheshire?
At Cheshire, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I don't remember a time I didn't play soccer.
Sweet. You hear that so much though, that like people who played at a high level, they always played up when they were younger.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's huge. And I don't know if you were like one of the kids that was bigger than everybody when you were younger or smaller, but when you're playing up, you're usually smaller. Yeah. And then you really like watching some of your highlights. I feel like one of your things, like even going back to like the club highlights, was you're able to use your body really well. Like obviously you're athletic, but to position yourself, like that's a skill. I think a lot of people get that when they play up. So that's interesting. So you got involved. Was it just like the travel soccer? What was it?
Yeah. Okay. Just in Cheshire they had this thing called in-house, where it's just you're playing all the other teams from Cheshire. And then I think U9 was when we started doing travel, which was just playing against different towns. And my dad coached that team up until I was like 13. So he definitely had a lot of big impact on me playing.
And wait, was he a player?
He played in high school, and then his senior year he got injured. He ended up going to Fordham, and he always says he could have played. Like he would play against some of the guys on the team and said he was better than them. But
did he ever try to walk on?
He did not try to walk on, no.
Okay. So Cheshire, you said up until what? You said 13?
Well, that's when my dad was coaching me until. So I played with that travel team until freshman year of high school.
Were you playing up this whole time?
I think once we hit like U13, I was with my age group. And then from there, played until freshman year of high school. And then my sophomore year, I joined FSA, which was at the ECNL level.
Got it. FSA's had some ballers.
Yeah, we had a really good team.
Michael Susky.
Yeah, he was the year older.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you guys had some ballers. And that's Farmington?
Farmington,
okay.
Yeah.
Any UConn guys come out of that?
Yeah, Kieran Chandler.
Okay, yeah.
He was a couple years younger. We had Lucas Almeida on the team at UConn. He was an FSA kid. And then I think that was it. But I mean, my team had like Alec Hughes, who was really successful at UMass, and now he's professional.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Jones was really successful in high school.
I don't know Evan.
He played at Holy Cross.
Okay.
I think he just finished up there. And then a couple other guys who ended up playing like D2, D3, and it's a really good team overall to put myself in at that point in my life.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a great environment. So transition to FSA, and throughout this whole time, from like starting out in Cheshire, working through, up till teenage years in Cheshire and then FSA, was college pro on your mind? Were you on that trajectory? Were people saying like, what was your development like through those years?
I would say it was definitely like something I thought about. I really enjoyed basketball too.
Yeah.
Like baseball kind of went to the wayside, but I think up until high school, basketball was my favorite sport.
What position were you in basketball?
I liked point guard, but I ended up being more like a small forward because I played on the freshman team my freshman year. And I was kind of a 3, but I think high school is when it really started being like, all right, I could maybe try to play in college.
Okay. And your teams at Cheshire High School, were they pretty successful? What was that program like?
They were more successful when I left, actually. Okay. They since I left, they've won a state tournament and they made the finals in 1 or 2 other ones. When I was there, we were pretty good. We had a
big score, like in Class L, or
we were double L when I was there. They just moved to L, I believe. Okay. But yeah, we had a lot of good players. My freshman year, I was, I think, the only freshman to make the team. There was a couple other freshmen who trained with us. But I made the team, was able to play a decent bit for a freshman, maybe like 30, 40 minutes a game. And then from there, just developed and played more and more as I went. But definitely a lot of older guys on the team who looked up to, learned a lot from. And then I think from when I was there to the younger guys is when there were more guys pushing on to the next level and playing in college.
Anyone in particular, you mentioned some older guys that were kind of mentors. Anyone particular from that team, from early in Cheshire, maybe it's your dad, that kind of shaped how you play now or why you play now?
I would say my dad is first and foremost for sure. And then I had a coach my year, U11, who coached with my dad. His name is Joe Garal. He's like a legend around Cheshire, Wallingford area. It's hard to find somebody who hasn't been coached by him at some point. But from when I was on his actual team to up through college, we would train with him. Me and my sisters would go to his house, train in his backyard with kind of like a select group of players. And I would train even with some of the girls on my sister's team, which when I'm 10 and they're 13, 14 years old, it's still playing against older players who are more developed, more ready than I was to play. But I learned so much training with them throughout the summers, winters, just extra trainings on top of what I was doing with my team.
And was there a lot of like competition in your house between you and your 2 sisters?
100%. We're competitive in everything. And like one year we got a ping pong table. And I mean, my dad was the best to start out with, but I would go down and like set the board up, play against myself, and now I'm better than my dad. And my sisters always get mad that I beat them all the time, but
awesome. And so tell me about how you got introduced to UConn.
Yeah, so I have 2 aunts and an uncle that went there. My grandfather went there for pharmacy school. Growing up in Connecticut, I mean, UConn's like, everybody's a fan of UConn basketball. I would go up probably once or twice a year to see games for the soccer team. So I just loved UConn growing up, especially like watching Shabazz Napier winning the championship, players like that. And then as far as when I was looking to go there, my older sister Bridget was already there, and she was going to be a senior when I was going to be a freshman in college. And my other sister Caitlin also was transferring there from Villanova after her freshman year. So I was definitely interested in going there, spending more time with them. And they both well, Bridget at least at the point really loved UConn as a school and definitely supported me going there. And of course, I was looking at other schools as far as playing soccer. I didn't have that contact with UConn as much, but it just kind of checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
You know, lower cost, like in-state, close to home, bigger school, which I kind of wanted. Not the biggest school, obviously, but bigger than some of the more D2, D3 schools that were more interested in me. And it has the sports, which I mean, I'm a big sports fan, which I love. So.
And did you have any other? You mentioned having some D2, D3 interests. Was there any Division I interests? So, like, what kind of level was comparable to UConn?
So, I would say the biggest schools were Central Connecticut, because my FSA coach was becoming the head coach there, and he was really interested in me going there. And then Sacred Heart kind of reached out to me later in the process, and they offered me a roster spot, more of like a practice player, which kind of turned me off from going there. And then I think junior year in high school, Bryant actually reached out to me, but they weren't doing as well as a program. At least now they're like a pretty good program the past few years. I think back then they won like 3 or 4 games a year, and I wasn't as interested, especially that's a smaller school as well. But definitely some schools. And then Quinnipiac was also
okay. They've had some big years too.
Yeah, they were probably the school I was talking to the most seriously. Like when it came down to deciding schools, it was between that and UConn for me. And then actually once I was at UConn, I almost transferred there to try to play there again.
And okay, so you enroll in UConn. Do you have it in your head that you're going to walk on? Like, do you think do you have any contact with the coach?
At that point, I did not have any contact, but I had always thought about wanting to walk on. Like, I didn't want to end my soccer career in high school. And my sister was saying the club team was great, and I was like, yeah, like I'll join the club team while I can, but I want to push to play at the next level. So it was always in the back of my mind, but it wasn't like something that was sitting there on the table already. I had to work for it for sure.
And then tell me, so you enroll in UConn without any contact, start on the club team. Tell me what that, like, where your head was at when you joined the club team, what that experience was like, and then how that kind of served as a catapult into varsity team.
So freshman year was 2020 in the fall, so there was no club team. And by the time fall rolled around and we were going to school, I had gotten in contact with Ray Reed, who was the coach at the time. My high school coach played with him in college, so I forget if it was through him or through Joe, the coach I was talking about earlier. Talked to him on the phone a couple times. He was like, yeah, our roster's full. We'll look to bring you in the spring to try out, walk on. Which to me was like, all right, I might have an opportunity in the spring. I'm going to work as hard as I can, make sure I'm ready and as fit and ready to play as possible. So throughout that fall and even in the spring, no club team. There was no real activities going on at UConn, but I would help set up like pickup games with the best players I knew. Some of my close friends now that went to UConn were soccer players that I knew from FSA. So we had a pretty good group of players training. Like
anyone also like serious about trying to continue playing?
Out of my friends, not really, but there was another guy, Robert Sam, who ended up going through the trial process with me of walking on the spring of my sophomore year. He was a year older. He was at Western Connecticut, and he played on the team there and then transferred there to UConn.
Is he pretty tall? He's a good player.
Very tall. He was at East Hartford.
Okay. I think I might have played him on the club team.
Yeah, probably.
Good player.
Very good player, yeah. His ability on the ball, very fast. Like, he's got the size. So I would talk to him when we were at like pickup, just like, hey, you trying to walk on too? And kind of went through that process together of trying to make it.
Yeah.
And other than that, like I would train on my own. My sisters would help me train when I was at home. You know, they've been a big help. Even my dad would help me train too. Maybe he's not the most technically gifted guy, but he's always supporting me, promoting me, and he'll help me whenever I want. Even now, I go home and he'll come on the field
That's
with
awesome.
me, kick the ball around.
Love it. So what kind of stuff were you working on? Like, did you know you had some certain things that needed work to get to that level? Because you would watch games, you kind of are familiar with what the UConn level is like.
I think it was just everything.
Yeah.
I would run the beep test by myself to make sure I was fit. I would kick a ball against the wall, just juggling or passing, shooting, everything. Because I mean, in high school I was more of a center midfielder, and then I kind of transitioned into defender at FSA, just because it was a higher level, and I was more comfortable at center back and was better there, or at left back as well at the point. But yeah, just working on everything, trying to improve as a player as a whole. So when I did get my chance, I would be ready for it.
And okay, so you're organizing pickups. This is first year, fall and spring. Pretty much no club team because of COVID.
Yeah.
And then your trial starts that spring.
No, that spring, I ended up calling the coach back. He was like, "Yeah, because of COVID, we're still not able to bring players in." Because that was when they had no season in the fall and their season was really in the spring. Mm-hmm. So it also wasn't a great time to be brought in. And at that point they said, yeah, we'll try to bring you in for the fall, which, I mean, that didn't end up happening either. But got to join the club team in the fall that following year, my sophomore year.
Got it. And can you tell me about that experience?
Yeah, I mean, club team was a great experience. The summer leading up to it, I played on like a U23 team out of Cheshire, actually. But a lot of Quinnipiac guys played on that team and some other colleges, just because it was so close. Right. So that summer, I feel like I improved a lot as a player. Even the spring, we ended up coming back from school a little early because of COVID. Mm-hmm. We went back maybe like mid-April. Yeah. And me and a few of my friends played on like the travel Cheshire team, which was just U19, like not the best level, awesome. But it was so much fun. We won the state title because nice. Like playing against a bunch of like 15, 16-year-old guys. But yeah, from there, then played in the summer with the U23 team, and then in the fall, club tryouts were like the first week of school, and there's 2 club teams at UConn, so I tried out for both. Ended up making both.
Is it not? They're separate.
Like totally entities? Separate. Yeah. So a while back, I think 2013, a few guys didn't make the team, and they were like, you know what, we have enough good players. Why not just start another team?
That's awesome.
Which, I mean, they're both really good teams now, so it makes sense. Yeah. So I ended up making both. There's like the official UConn club men's soccer team, mm-hmm. and then the other one's called AC UConn. And I joined the other one, AC UConn, just because I got to know the players a bit more throughout the tryout process, and a couple of my friends didn't make the other club team. Okay. Which they're really good players, so we were like, we don't know why you didn't make it. Let's go to this other team. We all made the team.
So wild.
And it had a coach, actually. So okay. The other club team was captain run, and we felt like having a coach would be good as far as just being fair with playing time and with training, like setting up drills and stuff. And the one we joined actually played on the same stadium as the D1 team too, so that was another perk that we got.
Wait, so the main organization club team didn't play the stadium? Is it Joseph J. Marone Stadium?
Yeah, Marone Stadium. They built a club like rec turf across the street from the stadium. Okay. So all the club teams have to play there, but because our team was separate, our captain at the time got in touch with the facilities manager. We were able to train and play on the stadium.
Awesome. Which, it's a great stadium.
Yeah, really good stadium. And it used to be grass, but now it's turf. But I mean, it's one of the better turf fields I've ever played on.
Yeah, really nice field. So you make your pick. you go with the AC UConn team.
Yeah.
And then, so this is in the fall of your sophomore
Yeah,
year.
that was in the fall.
And so, how did that go? What was the level like? And then, was it in the spring that you were able to get a shot with the varsity team?
Yeah. So, I mean, the club season was one of the best seasons of my life, to be honest. Like, we went 10-0 during regular play. We ended up losing in PKs to the other UConn team at regionals, so they made the national tournament. But because our ranking was good enough, we were supposed to make it as well. But you can't have two club teams from the same school at the national tournament, I guess. Okay. So we ended up making like the invite tournament, the open tournament, which you get a bid for. So we ended up playing there. We didn't do too well there. I think we went 1-1-1. So we got knocked out. But yeah, it was a great season. I made a lot of friends on that team. My roommate at the time and a couple of guys on our floor who we had kind of set up to live next to each other were on that team as well.
That's awesome.
And the level was pretty good. I think like sometimes our trainings were better than the games because we had a lot of good players on our team. We had another guy who was on the D1 team before and came down, and a lot of other guys who could have played D3, D2, even some lower D1 schools for sure. And then some games were really good and some games were 10-0 wins, but that's just how it goes with the club.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that fall season, the head coach for the D1 team, Ray Reed, ended up retiring, and they brought in Coach Chris Bondi. And I think as soon as I found his email, sent him an email, sent him my club highlights, which you said you got a chance to look at. My mom,
gotta check it out.
My mom filmed like every club game for me.
Really?
That's
awesome.
She would drive up, and my dad would drive up too, but she would
really
film every game. And I was able to piece together some highlights from that and from the summer. Sent it in the email to Coach Bondi, and I don't think I heard back till like February. But when I heard back, they said, "Yeah, we'll give you the opportunity to come in and train."
That's awesome. And he came over from Northeastern, was it?
Yeah, he was at Northeastern.
Okay.
And actually, in high school, I went to an ID clinic at Northeastern when he was there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
were you able to like talk to him then?
Not then as much. It was a bigger clinic with like a bunch of schools.
Yeah.
But it was pretty funny. One of the guys on the team who like got up and talked was a walk-on at Northeastern.
Okay.
Who turned into the captain for their team. Wow. So it's kind of funny that that's what ended up happening to me as well.
Yeah. No, that's incredible. So you get in the spring, start your trial. They get back to you said in February.
Yeah.
Then you start your trial
first week of February, and then they said I could start the following Monday.
And so tell me like what's going through your head? Are you nervous? And then what's your trial period? How did it go? All that.
Yeah, I mean the whole winter leading up to it, I was training, getting ready as if I already had something lined up. Yeah. My sister Caitlin was a big help with that because she was on the women's club team at UConn. Okay. So she wanted to train as well, get better, and to help me. So I get the email back from, I think it was the assistant coach, Cameron Omsberg at the time. And they were like, yeah, we'll bring you in Monday. Like, give us your class schedule. We'll let you know our schedule and when you can make it. And I think I could make it 3 days out of the week because the UConn Business School is pretty nice. You have Fridays off. So every Friday I was able to make it. And then I think Tuesday, Thursday. Mm-hmm. So that Tuesday I came in pretty nervous, I would say. Like, I'm pretty shy, at least when I first meet people. Mm-hmm. So I was probably in the locker room on my phone, not really talking to many people. I mean, guys would come in and dap me up, but not too much conversation coming from me. And I went into the first training session, thought I played decent, like was at the level as most of the players.
What position were you trialing at?
I think I started at left back, okay, but throughout that spring, I played both left back and center back in games. I think our first game was against Vermont.
Oh yeah.
We lost 2-1, but I played center back in that game in the first half. But yeah, at first it was kind of just a week by week thing of, hey, here's the schedule for the week. Like, let us know when you can make it. And this was all with the assistant coach. And then it was like at the end of the week, I was like, I don't know if I'm coming back next week or not. Like, but then eventually it turned into like, yeah, we're gonna keep you for the rest of the spring. And I was able to play in the games and get a chance to show what I can do. And then that other player, Rob, was also in trainings with us, trialing. Kind of the same situation I was, wanted to make the team for that fall.
That's awesome. So you're in the team for the rest of spring. Are you? We don't have to harp on it too much, but what was your like mindset going into this? Were you nervous, or were you just like, I'm just gonna go see what happens? And like in training, did you find that it was pretty easy? You said you were shy in the locker room a little bit, but in training, did you find that over time it was pretty easy to mesh with the team?
I would say like definitely very nervous going into it. Even like after I was there a few days, like still pretty quiet. I think on the field I would maybe be a bit more vocal, but that's just because I get more of my confidence on the field than off the field. But definitely as I got to know the guys more, a few guys I got a lot closer with. But I wasn't fully like, didn't feel a part of the team till that fall. And I would say that was more of a me thing than the guys on the team, because they would invite me to like go to a team dinner or something. But just for me, it's hard to open up sometimes, and it takes me a bit, which is something I think I've grown at definitely since then. But yeah, at the time, like wasn't super close with the guys, and I had really good friends outside of the team, which is something a lot of guys on the team don't get because they just spend so much time with the team. But yeah, definitely towards the end, had a few guys on the team. Aiden Kavanaugh was one of my better friends, at least at the start, and he kind of helped me, like just playing soccer tennis in the locker room or something, which was always a blast. But yeah, definitely grew from there.
And then at the end of the spring, was it they told you right then what the decision was? You had to wait a little bit, and did you feel that you had, based on your performances, kind of earned your spot?
Yeah, so I thought I was at the level with the team. I mean, people always say like when you're trying out, you got to show that you're better than players on the team. And I mean, I didn't think I was the worst guy during training all the time. And then in games, I thought I played pretty well as well, and showed what I have. And then come the end of the year, we set up a meeting with the coaches. He set up a meeting with everybody. So I signed up for mine, walked in the office with all the coaches. They sat me down, and they actually said, I don't have a spot for the fall. So I mean, I walked in there and they were like, oh, you seem nervous. Like, you seem like you're sweating, like you're nervous. I was like, yeah, I'm a little nervous. Like, this is going to kind of determine like how the rest of my life goes almost. And then they were like super nice about it. They said they just didn't have the roster space for it. And that the following spring they would bring me back in to, come back in and trial, and if I'm still doing well and they have the space for the following fall, they would bring me on the team. But that was like a year and a half in the future at that point. So yeah, my mindset after that meeting was like, like, did I not do enough? What else could I have done to show more? But it didn't like set me back too much. I still was like, all right, I want to make this happen. I'm going to keep training, keep getting better, hopefully have another good year with the club team in the fall, which I'd been announced as a captain for the club team for the next year. And yeah, I wanted to show the next spring, like, hey, I have what it takes to make the team.
Wow. So did you play? You played for the club team again that following fall?
No, so I think it was July 25th. I remember the day actually.
Yeah.
I was
Right
coaching
before
at it.
preseason?
Yeah, literally 2 weeks before preseason, not even. I was coaching at like a camp with Cheshire Soccer Club, which is where I grew up playing. And I get a call from the assistant coach, and I was like, had to tell one of the coaches I was with, like, hey, I got to take this call. Like, he goes, hey, like, just want to ask if you would like to play on the team this fall. Like, we understand if you don't, but somebody got hurt, and we have an opportunity to bring you in with the team. And I'm like sitting there like, what do you mean? Do you want to play? Like, of course I want to play. Like, so we got it all figured out, and then I think within a few days, the roster came out online. My name was there with the number 14, which they didn't ask me for, but you know, I'll take it. It's a decent number. And preseason started probably like August 7th or 8th, maybe 2 weeks later.
So, but you had been training.
Yeah, so throughout the summer, I played with the same U23 team, which was like pretty high level, a lot of college guys. And I trained on my own or with my sisters, with some friends that I had. Because, I mean, I just wanted to improve as a player, whether I was on the club team or not, or whether my opportunity didn't come till the following spring. But I don't know if something in my mind was like, you might be on the team in the fall, but I was ready to play no matter what came up. And stayed fit as well, like ran throughout the summer, which I enjoy running, so it kind of comes easier. I know a lot of guys don't, but yeah, I was ready to go when preseason came.
You do okay on the beep test?
Yeah. Always passed 20.1. We did the yo-yo, so
20.1.
20.1 was the standard.
Wow.
Always passed that.
That's high.
Yeah, it was pretty high. And we ran it in the spring too when I was trialing, and I always made sure I ran and was fit. Mm-hmm. So I always did top half of the team. And I think in that fall, probably top 7 or 8 guys on the team, which I was pretty proud of, I guess.
Yeah, especially 2 weeks notice.
Like, yeah. I mean, I tried to stay ready before that, but that 2 weeks, I was definitely pushing to make sure I was fit.
That is awesome. So, kind of a surprise making the team at least that early, because you thought you were going to have to trial again. What was your first preseason like?
It was good. I mean,
did you keep in touch with the guys at all, or not really, since it was like there was kind of a break in terms of being a part of the team?
Yeah, not really, because when I was told like I wasn't going to be on the team in the fall, I kind of stayed in touch more with the club guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, even like that summer, I would play pickup, get together with some of the club guys, some of my friends from Connecticut. But then once I was announced as part of the team, a few guys reached out to me and like got me in the group chat the 2 weeks leading up to preseason. And then I got to know the guys a lot better during that preseason, because a lot of new guys came into the team, so you get to know them. And then some of the guys I had already known, got to know them a lot better, because you're just with them 24/7 during preseason.
Did you guys go anywhere?
No, we didn't go anywhere. Most of our games were at home for preseason. I think we had one away game, which was Northeastern, so just a day trip up there and back. But we would all hang out. We would play pool in the dorm rooms, stuff like that. Just hanging out and passing time. Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's how you made it on the team, and then obviously there's a few years or a couple years before you eventually went on to captain the team. Yeah. So can you just tell me? You don't have to go year by year now, but tell me just generally how that kind of ascent happened, whether you expected that, and yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, right from the start, I actually ended up starting the first 4 games of that fall.
Wow. Because
of injuries. We had one of our center backs, Josh Morgan, got injured. He was a right back, played some center back as well. And then Guillaume Vactor, who was a guy who I played with for 3 years there. He's professional now with Pittsburgh Riverhounds. He was hurt with a knee injury, so they kind of threw me right in the mix. I think I started the first 4 games. We won 2 and we lost 2. In that 4th game, we played Syracuse, and that's the year they won the national tournament. We got smoked like 5-0. It probably wasn't a 5-0 game, to be fair, but yeah, we got smoked. And then from there, the guys kind of came back from injury. I played 2 more games maybe that fall. So still in the mix. They weren't the best opponents. Coach Bondi liked scheduling some games with like, I don't want to say bad D1 teams, but like teams that our second team at UConn could compete with. So I ended up playing a few of those games. And then definitely that spring, I think my role kind of jumped up a bit. We had one of our center backs transfer out to St. John's, and I was kind of playing with the starters for that spring. And again, like Coach Bondi was great. He would schedule 10 spring games, which is a lot for college for the spring. And we would play we would play 2 games a day. And it would be like our starting group would play 1 game, and then our reserves would play the second game. He would mix some players up from time to time. But it gave everybody a chance to be seen, a chance to play. So that spring, I played with the starting group for most of it, and was able to become more of a leader through that, because just feeling more comfortable, more confident with the team. We had a younger team at the time. A lot of the freshmen from that fall were kind of in the starting mix. So was able to step up and kind of fill a bigger role. And then the fall, I was kind of ready to be like, all right, I might be a starting player. I want to build on that and become more of a leader as well. We had a few other captains who were great captains, great guys, but I wanted to still be a leader even if I wasn't a captain. And then I wasn't in the starting lineup for the first game, which I was a bit disappointed about after having a really good spring. But I mean, I wanted to keep working and earn that role by the end of the year. I ended up getting hurt the day after our first game. We trained after our flight, so we flew back from Charlotte, trained that afternoon with like the guys who didn't play. End up hurting my knee. I mean, it wasn't too major, but I sprained my MCL. I was out for like 4 weeks without training. But then by the time I came back, I was able to get a few games, like 10, 15 minutes here and there. And then I started the last 4 games of the fall and played pretty much the full 90, all 4 games. And we made the second round of the Big East tournament, which we hadn't been in for the past 5 years. And I felt like, all right, like I've solidified myself. Like I wanna stick with the team after this year, and come back for my graduate year, because I still had another year of eligibility. And I felt like, all right, if I'm here next year, I could be a captain. I could be one of the leaders of this team. And that's what I was able to do following my senior fall.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you have a best memory from all those years at UConn, from first year, nothing going on, to club team, to your 3 years undergrad and grad school?
It's hard to boil it down to just one. I would say just at least being on the team, just hanging out in the locker room is like, I could spend all day in there if I wanted. Like we had a table in the middle, and we would play like pretty much spike ball, but with the soccer ball. We would call it jogo ball. We would play that for like hours before, after training, whatever. And we ended up breaking the TV in the locker room. So we weren't allowed to play that anymore. And then my senior year and grad year, we would set up one of the couches and play soccer tennis over the couch. Okay. And it was just so much fun playing that, like literally for hours.
That's awesome. Yeah, those games are so fun. Or like the tech ball.
Yeah, we have tech ball now at New York.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I'd love to transition to New York. So you decide to stay for your grad year as captain. At this point, you're getting your master's in, was it fintech?
Yeah, financial technology.
Okay. And are you kind of looking forward into your career at this point, or are you still thinking, hey, I actually want to see if I can pursue playing professionally?
So the summer between my junior and senior year, I had an internship with Deloitte in accounting, which was my undergrad, and they offered me a full-time role after that, which at that point I took. Like I was like, all right,
yeah,
when I graduate, I can go start a job. I'll have a job lined up already. So when I end up saying I'm gonna go back to grad school the following fall, I had to call them up and be like, hey, like I'm going back to school again. Is there anything we could do? So we pushed that employment back to this fall of 2025.
And they were accommodating to that.
Yeah, they were very, very accommodating. They kind of just pushed me back a year. So the guys I interned with.
Was it going to be in New York?
In Hartford.
Okay.
Which, I mean, New York is kind of where I want to be, maybe, but Hartford was like a good starting point. Met a lot of nice people through my internship, and would have been happy to start working there. But yeah, I called them back. Was like, I'm going to grad school, and I wanted to really focus on soccer. So that spring, I finished up undergrad while starting like an accelerated master's program, and then took a few summer classes and was able to finish up the master's program in the fall.
Oh wow, with super quick.
Well, I finished with a graduate certificate.
Got it.
But I have the opportunity to finish it if I want within the next 4 or 5 years.
How many credits do you still have?
I think 4 more classes, so 12 credits, which isn't too bad. I only ended up taking one in the fall, one class, because I was like, I want to really lock in on soccer, focus on my last year playing.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I mean, it was a little boring, like didn't have too much to do, but I would go out and watch other sports games.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole time at UConn, I would go to almost every home basketball game.
That's
just
awesome.
Big fan of it. Even soccer games before I was on the team.
Yeah.
I would be in the crowd.
Yeah, behind the, what was it called? The Goal Patrol?
It's called the Goal Patrol. It kind of phased out. I mean, after I joined the team, it kind of phased out a bit. So I don't know.
You guys still do have the stands, though.
Yeah, there are stands behind. But when I was not on the team, it was like all the students would crowd behind the keeper, start talking trash the whole game, trying to research like something about them we can make fun of. And then at halftime, when they switched sides, we would all journey across the stadium and stay behind them.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, that was a great time too, being with the club guys doing that.
So you're supposed to go to Deloitte after finishing your grad school. What happened?
Yeah, so after I felt like I had a really good year, my grad year, last fall, 2024. I led the team in minutes, played, scored a goal, which was really exciting. And yeah,
is that Stonehill?
Stonehill, yeah, first game of the season. Header, yeah. Shout out Scott Testori. He won the first header, and it was going wide. Even though on the camera it looks like it.
Well, I saw it in the video. You included the second angle.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, I don't know if you scored that. The second angle, you definitely scored.
Yeah, in my highlights, I put the second angle because the camera was here, and you can see it's going wide. One of the easiest goals I've scored in my career, though, for sure.
Counts.
But yeah, played really well as captain of the team. You know, I think we were one of the best defensive teams in the nation. We only allowed 11 goals all season. So I was at this point I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try to play as much as I can. Try to make a professional career out of it, even if it's a year or two. See what I can do with it.
So we were just chatting about how your college trial was different than your pro trials, and you talked about Pittsburgh, Omaha, and you had a few other combines lined up, and then I think we just lost the last bit, so I'd love for you to explain how you got cut with NYCFCii again, 73.
Yeah, so after the first few trials in December, didn't have a lot of opportunities lined up. Some of the other ones that took a while to figure out. So I got LinkedIn Premium, and I reached out to as many coaches as I could find, their contacts. And New York was one of the ones I found, and sent them a message, my highlight tape from that fall. See, they called me within 2 hours of sending that message. Said, like, yeah, we'll preseason. February 3rd, I think we started. So those other combines burned out. I was ready to go with New York starting February.
That's off. So how many do you think you sent out?
On LinkedIn, maybe like 6 or 7 that I could find. And then I also was able to find some coaches' emails just through their team websites. Didn't get a lot of responses that way, but probably another 10, 50 emails sent out.
Did you do the same thing when you were in the college process?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
you got
so many coaches.
What about for internship?
UConn was pretty helpful with the internship. It was kind of like you apply and they sent your application to a bunch of different firms, as at least the accounting department. So I was able to get a lot of help that way. And then decided to go do White Mag.
Love it. So back to NYCFC, reach out to the second team coach.
Yeah.
2 hours go by, you get the invite to was it combine or trial?
It was just to come in for preseason.
Oh,
trial,
right.
yeah.
Tell me about that. How did the nerves for that compare to when you were at UConn? And then, how did the preseason go for NYCFC? So,
I think just because I was at so many combines leading up to that, it was like I was much more comfortable just getting to know guys right off the bat. You go into these combines, you might not know anybody. You have to just say hi, get to know people right off the bat. So it was a lot easier going to New York. There was a lot of different college guys who got a similar invite as I did. So I think we had the 35 guys at the beginning of preseason, and then you slowly just got cut a few guys at a time. So it was kind of the group that ended up signing, and they signed a few people along the way, like guys there you had recruited a bit more. Versus me, recruitment.
You're good at that.
Yeah.
How is that really the case? That I've heard mixed things. Like I feel like the traditional narrative is that the pro game is much more cutthroat than the college game. But some of my teammates who have recently started playing professional said it wasn't actually really the case. Maybe it depends on the team, but that they were welcomed on pretty well. What did you find? Not necessarily with NYCFCii, but in your trial as Frankly. Is that in the case?
Definitely a little more cutthroat. A little more. As far as your opportunities within those 2 days, if you don't show what you have, they're not gonna really talk to you much. Not gonna invest their time in you if they don't feel like it's worth it. Versus UConn, they were like, all right, we're gonna give you at least a week and then carry on there. Whereas if they didn't like you at a combine, you're not invited to preseason.
Yeah.
That opportunity with that team's kind of cut off. But as far as New York, there was a lot of guys in a similar situation as me, and it was easy to get to know guys. Even some of the guys who are on the team are a lot younger, 16, 17, 18 years old. Are really good players, but it's not as intimidating, I would say, playing against them as some older guys, which is basic combat.
And can you tell me how the experience has been since? Obviously, you went on a trial. Let's see, it went well at preseason. And can you just talk to me about what life has been like in the program thus far?
Yeah, it's been good. I feel like I've grown a lot as a player. That's the first year even. Getting used to a longer season is definitely a big difference. At college, you get 3 months off for the summer where it's up to you to work out, stay fit, but you could also enjoy your time, vacation. Whereas pro level, you start in February,
were kind of pretty much nonstop until mid-October. At least playoffs could push that even further. So it's definitely physically demanding and mentally demanding to stay focused and ready to train every day. But I feel like that's one of my traits that I'm able to bring to the team is just level of consistency and coming in training ready to play and get better, regardless of whether I'm playing as much games as I was at.
I love it. And so we really covered everything from when you first started playing and Cheshire in-house all the way up to now Rio NYCFCii. Did you ever think at any stage from here up until maybe when you first got the UConn club team where you thought this could be a possibility?
I think I always kept it as a possibility, actually. Even when I was on the club team, like I was like, you know what? I could try to make it happen some way. Let's say I don't play Division One somewhere, I could try to be happy. And even that fall, I was on the club team. I reached out to more schools trying to transfer out. But yeah, I talked to that. Almost ended up going there, but they said like, "Hey, you haven't been team for a year. Like, we don't know how you be a new layer. Can't take that risk." But I kind of just didn't want to stop playing. I wanted to make the most of it, which, I mean, maybe high school before it was kind of like a tricky, like concussion soccer. But the higher I got, I was just like, I'm going to try to make it happen, see where it goes, you know, just try to play as long as I can.
I love it. Do you have any goals for this year? If you look out for, the rest of the season, it's August now. You go at least till October, like you said. Um, any goals for the rest of the season? And then if you pen, a couple years out, where you see yourself, where you want to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, we only have 8 games left this year, but we're pushing for a playoff spot. I think you're right at the 8th spot right now, which would get us in. So, just trying to help the team achieve as much as we can. MLS Next Pro is a lot about development, but obviously you want to manage the team. That's going to help develop you as well. So just trying to get the most I can out of the season, so it'll help me moving forward. Then in a few years from now, hopefully still playing at the professional level and trying to just reach the highest level I can play at, see what I'm capable of doing. When I'm at UConn on the above team, I want to play at the next level. When I'm on the Division One team, I want to play at the next level. And now MLS Next Pro, there's still levels to go up under it's MLS, USL Championship. Overseas maybe is a possibility, but just trying to play.
Last day, I will try to get this out of all my guests. Is there any kind of life philosophy that you have? Any philosophy you live by? Maybe it's religion. Maybe it's just some quote that you try to live by. Something that gets you through tough moments, whether it's training or in improv outside of soccer, or just generally doesn't make sense. Anything that you believe to be kind of characteristic true.
I wouldn't say I have like a specific quote off the top of my head. No, I use the notes page in my phone a lot. I have a notes page of quotes that is like I can read now and then if I want to kind of motivate myself more. And then other than that, I have another notes page that's kind of like any comment I've heard from somebody that has kind of doubted with me. And I'll read through that from time to time, be like, somebody said this, like, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm gonna go the extra mile. You try to make it. It's not that I need that external motivation all the time, but sometimes it's just an added layer to what I feel like inside and what I truly am able to motivate myself with. And I mean, there's some things in there that my sisters have said that were just like throwaway comments to that, but I was like, no, I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna keep that in my mind. Even though, I mean, my sisters are like biggest supporters, but it's just, yeah. And then, other than that, I really enjoy reading books too. So I read a lot of like, I guess self-help books, you can say, that have kind of helped me along our journey as well.
Anything stick out?
One book, which is Sir Alex Ferguson, Leading. It was a really good book. And I also, coaching is another thing I might want to pursue in my career after I'm done playing. And he talks a lot about different coaching things, and also like learning from my dad as a coach. Is something I might want to pursue when I'm done playing.
Maybe. That's pretty much all I had. If there's anything else you have about 10, I'm happy to chat about it, but that's pretty much all I had.
Awesome.
Jack Loura, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
That was awesome, man.